My first day in Canada was amazing. I was so glad. Just flying above Vancouver and the area, like Alberta, British Columbia in general, was so stunning. I sat next to the window and I looked outside and I was constantly like, wow, wow. Because there's just mountains covered in snow and lakes, and the nature is just incredible. Going to Canada, definitely worth it. Already the flight. I want to give you some tips while I'm telling you what I did when I arrived here and my first days. So if you arrive, you're just gonna get your visa at the immigration office and then get your baggage and leave the airport. Straight across from the airport there's another building. You go upstairs and there's gonna be the train that will bring you to downtown Vancouver. Before you get on that train, you should make sure that you know how long, well, roughly you're gonna stay in Vancouver. Depending on what, you can get a different ticket. So I didn't know how things work, so I got a single ticket for roughly $8 to go downtown, which is so expensive because the whole Vancouver area is divided in 3 areas, 3 zones, and here's 1 area, 2, 3, and the airport is in zone 3, which is why the ticket was so expensive as well. But in general, if you are planning on staying in Vancouver for the whole month and you arrive in Vancouver in the beginning of the month, then I would highly recommend you to get a monthly pass, just because it's way more relaxed. You don't have to stress about getting onto the next bus or train within 90 minutes, because that's how long you have time as soon as you tap on your card in a bus or something. You have 90 minutes to use buses and stuff, but afterwards you pay another $2.60 or whatever it was. So monthly pass for a month when you are there in the beginning of the month, because if you arrive in the middle of the month, the ticket won't go from that date until the next month's 15th, whatever, middle of the month. It's always from the 1st to the 30th or 31st. Other than that, you can get the Compass card for $6 at the machine close to the train track, and just top it up with $5, $10, $20, whatever you think you're gonna need. In the end, when you leave Vancouver, you can give the Compass card back to one of the offices and get the $6 back as well. Also, if you are in a bus, you could also use your credit card, for example, to tap on and off, also for the train, but it charges you more than when you have the Compass card. You're in Vancouver and you want to get a job. There are so many opportunities. I'd highly recommend you to be part of Facebook groups. Facebook is, I don't know, not something that many people use nowadays anymore. I don't know, it's not that popular anymore, at least not within the people I know. But for traveling, it's definitely worth using it. There are groups like Vancouver, BC Jobs, Newbies in Vancouver, whatsoever. Be creative, just look for groups, and there's always gonna be people posting jobs constantly. And that's actually how I got my first job, in a restaurant, so it does work. Other than that, you can go on Craigslist or Kijiji, Indeed, all these sort of websites and look for jobs there and apply online. But in general, it's also good if you just get your CV and walk to restaurant, Starbucks, whatever, and just go there in person, and maybe you're gonna have a job interview straight away. I would recommend you to work in a restaurant or something if you're doing your working holiday visa, because in a restaurant, especially if you're a server, you can get tips, and the tips really make the difference. I personally worked as a prep cook. If you work in the kitchen, you don't get a lot of tips, so serving is better. But in general, working in a restaurant, you might get free staff meals. Not everywhere, so look for a good restaurant that does that, but that saves you a lot of money, right? Because I could have had breakfast at work, had lunch, and then got my staff meal, which I either took home or ate at work, so I didn't have to buy lots of groceries. For accommodation, hostels are expensive, so I arrived in September and I was there until October, and actually beginning of November, whatever. Hostels were like the cheapest, around $38, which is a lot if you have to pay that each single day. Wow. Just go again on Craigslist, Facebook groups, rental pages, rentals, Vancouver, whatsoever, or on Couchsurfing actually, and just post everywhere that you're looking for a place for this and that long, and then people will get back to you, or you can find offers where you don't have to pay $600 a month or something like that. I personally got my place where I stayed via Couchsurfing. I had a person who contacted me that he has a place to rent, and that was fairly cheap, and so I was able to save money because I didn't spend it all on accommodation rent. So yeah, there's lots of opportunities to find places that are not too expensive, because I know that there's lots of people complaining that Vancouver is so expensive, but you can do it. Like, you just have to look for cheap offers, and even on Craigslist there are offers for $325. You're gonna sleep on a mattress in the living room, but whatever, you know. I don't know, it also depends on what sort of person you are, but I wouldn't personally mind sleeping on a mattress in a living room, as long as that I'll be able to save money, and I'll be traveling as well afterwards, soonish, somewhere else, so whatever. On Couchsurfing are lots of events. There are Facebook groups where people will ask, hey, do you guys want to go somewhere? In hostels, it's super easy to meet people. So over time, you will just get to know people, as long as you go out there and you're like, hey, this is me, I'm here, who wants to meet up and stuff. So you're gonna meet people, don't worry about that at all, and you're gonna have a great time. I did a couple of touristy things in Vancouver. I went to do the Grouse Grind hike. Vancouver Lookout. Went to Squamish for a day to explore it. I'd recommend the Four Lakes Trail, and went to English Bay to watch the sunset, which was beautiful, and just walked around the city, and one day went to Pitt Lake, which was nice as well. Just Google, talk to people, and just see the time that you can be here in Canada as an opportunity. Not everyone has the chance to go here. You're here to have fun and have a good time. So whenever you feel like it's time to move on, do so. Other than that, Canada is beautiful. Vancouver is a great city, and I can only recommend it. So as I'm so tired, I'm gonna go to bed now and sleep for maybe like 20 minutes to wake up again and feel fresh for the day. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.